Before the outbreak of any crime, usually there's a build-up of strategy and information and all of that. How effective is the SSS in intelligence gathering? For example, the simultaneous attacks across the northern states that we experienced recently. There must have been some sort of communication because the same sect didn't move from Yobe to Damaturu that same night. They were stationed and they were calling each other. We have had cases in this country where, you know, we involved the telecoms companies in nabbing down some suspects. Now, what is the place of the SSS in, I mean, how effective is their intelligence gathering in this case?
Like I said, I'm not speaking for the SSS, but at least as an analyst, I know what is going on. The State Security Service cannot just be coming out to tell you exactly what they are doing, the whole thing they are doing. Because if you do that, you are going to create fear and panic, which is, of course, the intentions of the terrorists, to create panic and create fear. You talk of intelligence gathering, like we started. It was through concrete intelligence that was provided that those RPGs were recovered in the hillocks, that's in Monguno local government of Borno State. You also recall that sometime about 4 months ago in Kano, over 25 drums of highly inflammable materials used for, partly used for production of explosives were recovered. And it was worth over 800 and something million. So, the issue of terrorism is capital intensive, is financing. But what I'm saying, like before you ask the question, should we be looking at the dress or the fact? Whether they put on the same dress, well, everybody has a right to make observations. But I tell you, looking at those issues critically, they are not the same persons. And I don't see the State Security Service recycling suspects. For what purpose? What do they intend to achieve?
That's my point.
It's insulting. Because, wait, excuse me. For instance, I have very high respect for Dr. Lai Mohammed. But I think he should be close to the service. He should have also made some inquiries before running to the press. And all those, these are issues that is discouraging. It's not only discouraging because you see people are putting their lives on the line, doing their best to ensure the security of this nation.
That's exactly the reason why I asked you that question. Yes. Do we have enough intelligence? If we can go as far as nabbing down the RPGs, the same effort that is being put in place to get those things, can't it be a nest to nab down Boko Haram? Because I know we have more than enough. If we can do that, then it can also take us that far.
I just gave you some examples. It's only when there's a problem that people get to know. But what the SSS, all the security agencies, what they are doing behind the scene to prevent, they don't come out to begin to announce all this.
Just to lay more emphasis on the point you raised earlier, yes. Going by the Otite attack we had yesterday in Kogi State, we had reports that the attackers laid siege all through the vigil. And it raises the question, how effective is security surveillance?
Now, they laid siege all through the night, waiting. Who saw them? Is it not the responsibility of all Nigerians to provide information to the security? They are not omnipresent. Security agencies, they are individuals. They are Nigerians. They are not imported to the country. So we need to get more involved as Nigerians. If you have that kind of information, like the one in the same Kogi State, where a church was being used as a venue. You see, they put the picture of Jesus Christ and this guy said, people provided information. Nigerians are trying, they are supporting the agencies, but we need to do more. Because these people don't come from the moon. They are Nigerians.
Now we're trying to look at some of those arms and ammunition. And yesterday we had a security analyst consultant, Ejiofor here. We were talking about the borders. Is there anything you think we can do to really well, watch our borders so that we don't get some of these RPGs and others to come into the country?
You see, that's one of our greatest challenges. The borders are porous. And not only porous, they are too vast. Look at our coastal lines. You look at our boundaries, our borders. They are very, very vast. So many routes that even if you decide, can you fence Nigeria? Or put everybody, every route? What is the strength of even the police, the army, everybody put together? That you begin to man every route. It's practically impossible. It's a great challenge that must be addressed. It's a great challenge.
Because we're trying to look at what the U.S. is doing in their borders with Mexico that runs across in the Imperial Beach, California, and some other places. But even those, once in a while, you get to see one sneak in. But to a large extent, it seemed to have been some kind of a resort in manning that particular border. So some think that by now, since we all agree that our borders are porous, some also say we have the problem of also religion and culture that is similar with others in that other parts of the country. Why don't we by now maybe rejig our approach to safeguarding the borders around such places, because we just can't throw our hands up in the air and say, well, it's just too vast for us to cover?
Yeah, you see, Sulaiman, it's the same. We have major routes. There are issues, there are areas you cannot just pass through illegal routes. For instance, the recovery of those RPGs was based on information, and by multinationals. We have multinational joint task force of Niger, Nigeria, Chad, and they all working together to ensure that these routes are checked. But you remember, like you said, Nigerians, it's difficult to differentiate between a Nigerian and a Nigerian, or a Chadian, for instance. Cross-cultural, and ECOWAS treaty makes it easier for free flow of movement and goods. So it's a difficult problem, but I think, like I said, it must be addressed. And Nigerians, we Nigerians actually need to cooperate and volunteer information. People will tell you, well, I'm not sure of it, but I say this is neither here nor there. Volunteer information, will have the social media network, you have internet, you can volunteer information through all this. If people are scared that the information will be compromised.